Welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. It's your host, Matt Heath. How you doing, folks? The election's coming up. Don't want to talk about it. All I want to talk about is my guest, Cezar Ostrowski, that I had on the show. And I'm excited to present this episode to you because, Cezar had me thinking about people I haven't thought about in years, places I haven't been in years, and the two of us just reminisced, and it was a great episode, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to it. I had him on the show because he's going to be on my benefit show we're doing for our friend John James, who is going through chemo right now, and he's going to be on this Ghostbuster themed comedy show, and it's Ghostbusters themed because as you know, if you've listened to the John James episode, John was is obsessed with Ghostbusters. So Cezar hopefully is going to dress as Slimer. He says we were looking at Slimer costumes before he left. I don't think we talked about it on the episode, but I have enough Ghostbusters on the show, and Cezar is going to be our Slimer. And if you want to help out, the show's sold out, by the way. So if you want to help out and donate to my buddy John's cause anyway, you could go to Carly James, his wife's Venmo, at Carly James 720. You could donate there, or just listen to this actual Ghostbuster I had do a get well video for me for John. So just listen to this right now, and you'll know all the details.
Hi, this is Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters. First, I want to give a big shout out to John James and just wish you, John, for a really speedy recovery. I know you're going through a challenging time. Cancer is pretty frightening. I know I've been through 2 bouts of it myself, but just know that, as we say in Ghostbusters, the skies haven't fallen, the seas didn't boil. It's not Judgment Day, and this too shall pass. So I'm just wishing you and hoping, like I said, the absolute best. Me and all the other Ghostbusters all over the world, we're all pulling for you. But I also, for everyone else, I want you guys to check out Bust Out the Cancer Comedy Show. And these are comics dressed as Ghostbusters, hosted by Matt Heath. This is on Thursday, October 29th, 8 p.m., Stand-Up Underground Elbow Room in West Hartford. Tickets are $25, and all the proceeds are going to John's chemo. And also go to gofundme.com/John's-cancer-story. You guys check it out. It's for a great cause, a really, really special person. So you guys just, everybody stay up, stay strong, stay healthy. And as we say in Ghostbusters, keep on busting. Take care.
So as I said, the show is sold out, but you can still donate if you'd like to. And just before we get into the show, just a little word from our sponsor. You've probably heard a lot about cannabidol, or CBD, but have you heard about the plant science company taking the lead in providing highest quality CBD nationwide? At your CBD store, Simsbury, you will find a fantastic staff that creates a comfortable environment where you can get your questions answered and find the right products to get the relief you need. They will be your number one source for providing quality education about products for you and your pet. They offer a full line of edibles, creams, USDA certified oils, and more, all developed under the guidance of their PhD analytical chemists and health leaders across the industry. And to back up their story, they also provide an extensive third-party testing to ensure that what's listed on the products is actually what's in the products. They are located at 1243 Hot Meadow Street in Simsbury and open 7 days a week. Give them a call at 860-217-1433. Visit their website at ycbdsimsbury.com or stop in for free samples and the highest quality products you can find. Your CBD store, Simsbury, where good health hits home. And, hey, if you want to donate a few shekels over to the 1000 Comics podcast and be a sponsor yourself, you could hit up the Venmo page at Thank You Masked Man. That's at Thank You Masked Masked man. Other than that, this episode with Cezar Ostrowski was really good, so please enjoy it. Well, welcome to the 1000 Comics podcast. I'm sitting here with my guest today, Cezar Ostrowski.
Hello, hello.
How you been, man?
Quarantined up.
Dude, it's been a long-ass time since the last time. How long do you think it's been?
I was thinking about on the way over here. I think the last time was in Norwich at that record shop.
Oh, man. So that was at least 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that, believe it or not, that I think Colin Cook was there that night, too.
Yeah.
Because he drove me, because I was supposed to drive him. And plot twist, I got too drunk at a Polish festival earlier that day.
And you would get drunk at those, because this was Strange Brew you're talking about, right?
Is that what it was?
It was this place called Strange Brew. Yep, because I remember specifically it was called Strange Brew because I bought. Remember that movie with who's in it? The movie with is it Rick Moranis? Rick Moranis.
Oh, yeah. I know the
Brew.
cover of it. I never saw it because I worked in a movie.
And it was the other guy from SCTV.
Yes, and they're sitting on a log and they're drinking beers.
I bought the soundtrack for that movie for
Really?
them to hang on the wall, and I autographed it.
That's pretty awesome.
So I don't. Is that place even still open? I don't even know.
Probably not. If they could barely make it then, there's no fucking way they're making it.
I don't know if they survived the pandemic.
I don't know if they survived like 2017. Never mind making it this far.
But I remember specifically everybody got real drunk there because the guy that ran the bar, AJ Strange Brew, which most of us don't even know his last name.
He was like a wrestler too, right?
Yeah. Would pay people in drink tickets, and all the comedians would get real fucked up.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I had Colin, who didn't drink as much.
Yeah.
Then, actually, I don't know if he was sober at that point.
Was he sober yet? I don't even know.
That might have been just at the cusp when he realized he had to be sober.
Yeah.
By law. And he drove me there. And I blacked out on the way back. That was a good time. I pulled over. I made him pull over on the side of the road just so I could throw up. And then I got back in his car.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of those nights. I felt fine there.
I definitely had nights like that at Strange Brew where I should not have been driving home from Norwich.
I shouldn't have been. I that's the one handful of times, less than 5 times I could count on one hand, that I was responsible.
Well, at least you had Colin drive you home.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on the show as well, the Ghostbusters show we're doing. So
is he? Did I miss his name on that? For some reason, I thought I missed his name on
You
there.
might have missed his name on there.
Shit,
yeah.
sorry,
So
Colin.
he's going to be on the. I'm gonna record a pod. You and him are two of the only people that are on the show that I haven't had yet to have on my podcast.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because he's out there, traveling. I'm not.
So I should probably mention right now we're doing this Ghostbuster show. It's a cancer benefit show for our buddy John James, and it's sold out already, so you can't buy tickets. But I should probably mention that you can still donate to his cause. You could go to his wife's Venmo at Carly James 720.
Yeah.
Or I'll throw it in the monologue, but his GoFundMe page you can also donate to. The dude's going through chemo right now. Great dude. Used to run the Blackboard mics.
That's a great mic.
And it's one of the guys we started out with.
I don't know if you know this. Me and him started out together probably about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
At Sweet Jane's, if not longer than that. in Hartford.
Okay.
And it's no longer here, obviously. It's on Pratt Street. No longer here.
So it's like you were one of the original Hartford guys then.
Yeah, I mean, there was every Tuesday night it was me, Darren Rivera, Shoestock, John James, Dr. J, Jerry Woolley.
And God bless his soul,
God
too,
bless
man.
his soul,
You know
yeah,
what's
absolutely.
interesting? I went down to CVS the other day,
Yeah.
and I bought a couple of, I printed a couple of photos of Dr. J.
Really?
One of which at the Hungry Tiger.
Yeah.
One of which was a show we did in New York at the comic strip. And he's standing there, and he's pointing in like the other direction, and I'm standing in the background of the photo. And that's the only photo I have with Dr. J.
You know what's funny is I went through my role when he passed away, and I don't have many with him, but like I did so much shit with him. Like we didn't take any pictures together, but like me and him traveled down to the Baltimore Comedy Festival together, and like we did so much stuff together. And I have so many stories about him that like some I could share, some I can't like publicly.
Share one, but first let me finish this quick bit about the going to CVS.
Yeah.
I when I printed the pictures, I went to the coupon machine. I had a $5 off coupon for whatever I'm getting at CVS.
Yeah.
So I would have to buy something additional to the
to get the $5
off
because it's before tax,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around and I find a little Ghostbusters toy I'm going to throw in with the raffle stuff.
There you go.
So I'm going to take that one as a donation from Dr. J there.
Fucking A. Dr. J is fucking beyond the grave, fucking donating things. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fucking what a guy. Fucking what a guy. God damn, I love that guy. He used to drive around in a pinstriped, because his love for the Yankees was second to none. He used to drive around in a pinstriped Durango. That's when I met him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, because I bring it up. I'm like, dude, did you know when he drove a Durango that had like pinstripes on it? And they're like, no, that seems fucking crazy. It is. It's absolutely fucking crazy. And that's what he did. And he would drive around proudly and with his Yankee ties and Yankee this, Yankee that. And I'm a diehard Boston fan. And he just like give me shit for it all the time. And he's one of the real ones. Like when Boston won the World Series and stuff like that, he would always reach out to me and go, hey, congratulations, enjoy this. You still have like fucking 20 to catch up. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah. Like,
and the audience can't see, but I'm wearing a Yankees hat right now, so I'm totally on Doc's side.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I think that when we first met, he gave me a Spider-Man sticker, the way like pediatricians do,
that was his post-show thing, man. Like you greet the crowd, you shake hands, whatever, and
that was his thing, to give out stickers the way pediatricians do.
And I swear to you, people went apeshit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like people would be like, "Where's my sticker?" Like if the woman behind the woman that got one saw it, she'd be all about it.
Yeah.
And it would cause a chain reaction.
I think it was because he was wearing a Spider-Man tie, too. I complimented his tie, and
That's
he was like,
probably
and he
it.
handed me a sticker. I was like, who is this fucking guy, and why is he so great?
He would have them in his pocket like packs of acid, almost. Like just acid packs. And he'd just be like flipping through them. He's like, oh, what do I want to give out today? Do I want to do Disney Princesses? Do I want to do Bob the Builder? And I'm just like...
That's true. I think that's exactly what he had on him, too.
He'd just be like rifling through them and just like, you know what, we're going to go to Donald Duck today. And he just like stashed the rest of them away. Like, why don't you like just give out whatever the fuck you want? Randomize them, man. Like, who gives a fuck? They're stickers. Believe me, they don't care. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't give a shit what sticker they get. And,
right?
But I was the wildest thing. Like, people went fucking crazy for stickers. Like, he didn't have business cards. He he did, but like he gave the stickers out more than cards because people would throw the card away. Business card, no one fucking wants it. You're gonna put it in your fucking glove box and forget about it.
Yeah.
Sticker, you fucking remember that shit, and it worked, man.
If I still had the sticker, it would probably be on the bulletin board I got there with the rest of the business cards. People do give.
I don't know if I ever threw it. I can't remember if I probably didn't throw it out, but I always throw it in my pocket and either wash them with my laundry or they got put in like a drawer, like a junk drawer or something like that. Yeah. So they're here somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah. If I ever find that Spider-Man sticker, I'll totally frame it with that photo I have with
awesome,
with Doc there. And I don't know who else was in there with you at the beginning of that Hartford scene.
Well, we had Pat Oates, we had Dan Rivera, who's like my big brother in comedy. fucking Jerry Woolley. Shoestock would get fucking drunk on wine and then just like complain. It was fucking hilarious. I loved it. He would just go up and just bitch. And it was always the same crowd, too. That's the fucking best part. Is like open mic in Hartford never was a thing back then. It was like pulling teeth to get people in. It was one girl and her friend who was on America's Next Top Model.
Right.
And it was weird. Like, she was like a Connecticut chick from like West Hartford or Glastonbury, one of those like towns. And she was actually on America's Next Top Model, and that was like her claim to fame. So she'd be there with like a friend every now and then. And then there was like a 3 or 4 group of guys, like a 3-pack or 4-pack of guys that were construction workers, always there on their break, just pounding beers, that were working on the Excel Center.
Right.
They're like elevator construction workers or some shit, and they're like third shift, so their break was always at like fucking midnight or some shit. And so we'd be there telling jokes. They'd come through and just fucking laugh and laugh and laugh, even if they're the same jokes, because they're probably just fucking smoking or doing coke and just coming through and just drinking beers and eating like.
It was
nachos.
their one moment of zen, so you got to be there for
and
it.
It's like they look forward to it every week, and that was like our little crew. And I mean, it sucked, but it was awesome at the same time. Like, you know, the comedy was and there really wasn't any shows from it, because now the comedy scene in Connecticut has just exploded compared to what it was. And I mean, back then you also had people like Chris Clark come through. John Moses come through.
Yeah.
Artie Robb would come through. Marshall Brandon. Like, Marshall Brandon's fucking murdering it right now, you know, Chappelle Summer Camp and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what's weird about Artie Robb is he was the first actual show I ever did that wasn't an open mic was I hosted for Artie Robb at Joker's Wild.
Okay.
And it was on Halloween of all.
Okay.
And I remember specifically I went out and I got a tie. And I got the Ghostbusters symbol on it, but the ghost was holding up the 3. This was long before the third Ghostbusters movie came out.
I was going to say that's premonition right there.
Yeah, so it was almost a decade ago.
Was it like Adidas? Was it like an Adidas ghost?
And I remember what was that?
Was it an Adidas ghost, like 3-stripe ghost or something? Like,
I mean, he was just holding up the 3.
Was it an okay ghost, like Pride Boy?
No. It was just like the peace sign, but the extra finger.
Okay,
there.
Gotcha.
But I remember so specifically me fucking up Artie Robb's. I remember this like it was yesterday. Me fucking up Artie Robb's intro because he came up to me and I'm already kind of nervous. Like, this is my first show. This is the first time they told me I wasn't allowed to drink before I got on stage. You know what I mean? So he comes up to me. He goes. So Matt, he goes, do whatever you want, but before I get on stage, I want you to go and say and come into the stage a 6 foot tall white man,
always
Artie Robb, and I said 6 foot tall black man because I thought he was kidding. I thought he's not. He was not kidding.
He probably just looked at you like, I will murder you, but after my set.
But it was an 8:00 show and a 10:00 show, and thankfully I got a chance to.
Rebuttal.
And I saw him wander into an open mic the other day. I hadn't seen him in years either, and I was like, who's that lurking in the shadows back there? And I'm like, is that Artie Robb? And he didn't answer. And I'm like, come on, man, I can't tell. Like, you're wearing like a hat. It's dark in here. He's like, yeah, man. And then he just leaves. He leaves, and I didn't see him again. It's like he left during my set, and I'm like, holy shit.
So we share a commonality here because my first ever show that wasn't open mic, where I thought I was ready, was the way I got into comedy is like I always wanted to do comedy. My cousin passed away, and I was like, well, life's short. I want to do it. You know what I mean? So,
same with me. My mother passed away, and I was like,
want to give it a go. You know
yeah,
what the
give it a go.
What's holding you back? You know what I mean? Because you're either here or you're not. You know what I mean? And I did like 1 or 2 open mics at what's that place on Park Street in West Hartford line, kind of right near 7-Eleven in West Hartford. Park Street Cafe, I think it was called.
Okay.
And so they used to have like a pretty good open mic, like a lot of old school comics that don't do comedy anymore were there, Darren brought me in there because my buddy heard that I wanted to do comedy. So he goes, you want to do comedy? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're on my show. I'm like, what? Because my buddy Andy and his best friend Aaron he used to like throw parties all the time. They'd rent the hall and have like a theme night party. And this one was a comedy night. And they knew Darren. Darren and him were boys.
Right.
So Darren's a fucking beast. So, Darren got Chris Clark and Artie on the show. So I'm like, this guy who's never done a real show. And I'm just like, hey, guys, I'm one of you guys now. Like, you're not. So maybe slow your roll real quick. And so I did like a few open mics. I'm like, I think I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I wasn't. And then I get there. Nervous as all hell. Nervous, I wasn't even, 2 hours before the venue was even supposed to have comedy. My throat is, dry. My saliva has just disappeared. And Artie shows up. Met him for the first time. He's like, yo, what's up? What's up, dude? What's up, man? He's like, he knows Darren. He knows fucking Chris Clark already. So they're, chummy. I'm just, just standing there kind of trying to not look like a fucking nerd, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm gonna fuck this show up, guys. What's up, guys? I'm the guy who's gonna fuck this whole thing up. He just gives me a bottle of Henny. And he just takes some. I'm like, nah, I don't really drink Henny. I'm like, and he just looks at me and goes, I wasn't asking. I was like, okay. This, because to me, he was the biggest dude in the room at that point. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Yes, sure. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Artie Rob,
yes,
sir.
Mr. Artie Rob, sir, who can break me in half. Because, again, this is 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And not to say you can't break me in half now, but, you could definitely break me in half then.
It's funny thinking I was just a 21-year-old kid when I
must have been 24, 23 or so when I started. Yeah, so... And he just looked at me, just fucking put the bottle of Henny in my face and goes, take some. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. He goes, I wasn't asking. I'm like, all right. Thanks, sir. And I just guzzled it. And I was like, ah! Because I don't like Henny as much then as I do now.
Right.
So, that, it kind of grew on me. Now I'll sip it. I'll drink it. You throw some fucking, Hypno, make some Hulks. It's good.
Yeah.
But then... I wasn't really having it. I was more a vodka rum type of guy, and yeah. So he makes me, and so I go on stage. Finally, it's time. I get introduced. I get out there. I said maybe 3 punchlines really well, and then I think the Henny started feeling kind of nice, because it started feeling like fire going up my cheeks, and I started getting kind of loose, and I was my mind just went blank, and I just sat there, and I was just nope, I got nothing, and I'm just, it felt like forever, because I'm sure you've had that feeling where you forget a punchline or you forget your segue to your next joke. Even now, but now, you're a little bit seasoned, you know how to kind of get out of it. But then that was my day one. I was just okay. In my head, I'm just panicking. I'm just oh, you're fucked. You don't know what you're doing. This and that, this and that. And a buddy of mine knew my set because he was going to the open mics. He was going to the fucking practices that I was reciting to him and stuff like that. And I was just standing in the fucking spotlight, and I just hear, "You smoke weed?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I do actually." And I just picked it up.
He started feeding you your jokes from the crowd.
I know, terrible, right? But he just he saw me fucking dying, and if I didn't have that, I would have shit the bed and probably quit comedy, which I probably should still. But and so he just says that, and it brought me right back, and then it didn't go half bad, but it didn't go half good either. And I've seen people their first times go much worse. And I felt good afterwards, to the point where even though they're my friends, they're like, "Oh, you did really good. You're really good." But my friends are fucking dicks. They'll tell me if I didn't do good. They'll be like, "You know what? You should probably go home, run a bath, and kill yourself in it." They'll be truthful to that degree.
Okay, so however you said kill yourself.
Yeah.
And how you were talking about how these shows were premonitions earlier. You want to hear something really fucking weird about this Artie Rob show? How it was Halloween? My girlfriend at the time dressed in costume, right?
Was she the only one?
She was the only one dressed in costume. But get this. She dressed as a deer. And it was basically like a Midsummer Night's Dream type deer. Where it was she was wearing twigs in her hair and this weird dress, and she looked exactly how they were dressed when Michael Keaton killed himself in the movie, or he shoots himself. He doesn't actually die.
Yeah.
In the movie Birdman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she was dressed exactly like that, But this was before that movie came out either, so...
Many years before that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Huh? That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Fucking Artie Robb. He's like a time traveler or something.
I think he might be. I think...
That's what it is. Like, he doesn't age. He looks the same. So, he's... Yeah.
But that just might be because black don't crack.
It doesn't crack. It doesn't. Yeah. He looks like... There's like 3 more years, I'm going to look older than him. Like, I'm already level with him. Like, we look of age... I'm gonna look older than him.
I mean, I'm starting to really think that Artie Robb might be a magical dude, man.
He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you've ever watched Upright Citizens Brigade. He's like our bong boy. Like he's the guy that shows up at natural disasters smoking a bong. You know what I mean? He's like that guy.
I've never seen that, but now I'm just thinking like Stephen Wright, the guy on the couch.
Oh no! If you ever get a chance, check out Upright Citizens Brigade Bong Boy. I can't find it anywhere on fucking TV.
Yeah.
Or on like YouTube or anything like that. But
all right, now I got to tell you the destiny of this tie.
Okay.
This Ghostbusters tie.
Tie it all together.
So I'm working at the Funny Bone as a fry cook.
Yep.
Leslie Jones.
Fantastic.
Comes to headline.
Yeah. Was she great? Tell me she was
She
great.
was amazing.
Thank
she
you.
had this one joke where she'll go in the audience and roast a bald guy, and she'll be like, "It's like a pterodactyl egg," and start licking his bald head.
That's brave.
I know.
That's brave.
That's hilarious, though, right? And I know it's like it's a running thing because I've seen her do it twice to 2 different guys at 2 different shows.
That she does that at the end, so she doesn't have to like sit there with like a mouthful of bald taste. Like if she opens with that, and then she does like 40 minutes.
I think it's something she does in like the middle of the show.
Like she opens with that, and then you have like
it's towards the end because she goes into the crowd, starts roasting like a bunch of people in the crowd.
Do that shit at the beginning, and then you have like just 40 minutes.
I think she must be attracted to bald guys though to do shit like that.
Might be. Ew. Though, like I would never want to lick anybody.
But anyway, so she was in the 3rd Ghostbusters movie.
Yes.
And I really wanted to give her a play that I wrote because this play that I wrote called "Scared Out of the Dickens" is it's a parody of A Christmas Carol.
Yes, I was gonna say Christmas.
But it's about a teacher, and the teacher's a black woman. I thought Leslie Jones would be perfect for the lead role. If I know it's a very like shoot for the moon type. Thing.
You never know.
But I gave her a copy of the script, and I gave her the Ghostbusters tie, and we took a selfie together. And the copy of my script, though, had my address on it. She ended up mailing... She didn't mail me the tie back, but she mailed me the script back along with a letter saying that she couldn't accept scripts from people.
It's probably because of copyright laws.
Yeah.
But she probably make copies of it, and then she's going to screw you that way. She owns a scanner. She owns a scanner. She's got money.
She's like, Bill Murray already made fucking Scrooge.
Yeah.
What do I need to make this for? She's like, I already copied one Bill Murray movie.
Bill Murray already made one movie she already did, so what's 2? You know what I mean? Like, what's another one? You know, let's stop at a baker's dozen. Like, let's do Caddyshack next. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so yeah, that story totally comes. I'm telling you, it's because Artie Robb's a magical dude.
He is. He really is, and I don't know what to say about the guy that hasn't already been said. He's a fantastic guy.
All right, so it's just to shift gears a little bit here.
Yeah.
You're newly become a homeowner, huh?
Yeah. I hedged my life and my money and everything up against this fucking building now, this fucking property, saying I can afford you for my life.
Yeah.
Or for at least 30 years, I can afford you.
And where at? Where are we at
in New
now?
Britain, actually.
Okay.
I went back home because I like taxes, and I went back home because I like taxes, and I like fucking gang on the upticks. You know, like,
it's a beautiful house, though. I did see a picture of it on Facebook.
Yeah,
there. It's an old house.
Yeah, me and my wife fell in love with it. It's a 117-year-old house.
Really?
Yeah.
This apartment building's about 100 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. That's yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they could be related.
It's a good thing we're doing this Ghostbusters show because both of these places might be fucking haunted.
I did come home so get this shit. So I'm working from home now. But I'm actually commuting to my new place from my apartment because we don't live there yet full time.
Right.
So like I'm actually commuting to my house to work from home, which makes no sense. But I came home today and a clothing rack was on the fucking ground, maybe it's haunted. I don't know. Maybe the fucking ghost hates my wife's clothes. I don't know. Like maybe he doesn't like earth tones. I don't know.
Or maybe it's just it wasn't a sturdy.
It could have been. It was bought.
Clothing rack.
It was bought at Dollar General. So, so I don't know. It could be a specter. It could be cheapness at this point.
So, I think this place is actually haunted by the ghost of Lenny Bruce.
Of Lenny Bruce, huh?
And here's why.
Was someone doing heroin in your stairwell?
Well, I think the guy at the bottom floor, but that's a whole different story. I've actually befriended Kitty Bruce. I've tried to get her on the podcast a couple times.
Is that like his daughter? Or
that's Lenny
granddaughter?
Bruce's daughter.
Okay. Is she from around here?
And no, she actually lives in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But I tried to get her on the podcast a couple times, just to like tell stories about her father.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's really interested in doing a comedy podcast. One day maybe she'll be on it. But I've actually been in AA for the past month because she convinced me to go.
Okay.
And the day
Congratulations.
I was going to go to AA the first time, I was on the fence about it. And she had asked me to go to the day before, and I'm in the bathroom taking a shower, and the Lenny Bruce album that's on my wall fell off the wall.
Huh.
And I was like, I gotta take that as a sign from beyond the grave. Much like Dr. J giving us that CVS coupon, I took the Lenny Bruce album falling off the wall.
Okay.
As
you gotta go.
As I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta start. And the other day I got my 1 month chip. And I think I got the Bruce family to thank for that.
Congratulations for that. Like a lot of people scoff at like, oh, it's for quitters. And do you. That's good, man.
But at the same time, I really when it comes to like they say it's like a spiritual awakening when it happens, and I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it's like when my hero's daughter is trying to convince me that
that might be the awakening.
That might be the awakening.
That might be the awakening.
I might have some shit I need to change.
Yeah, like when you're like, Jesus, send me a sign, and that's literally your sign. And imagine if you had the balls to be like, okay, one more sign.
And then,
okay, that's. I don't know what to make of that.
I mean, when it's like you're 10 years in the game, the only famous comic you've opened for is Artie Lang. Jesus is probably gonna start knocking Lenny Bruce albums off the
Lenny
wall.
Bruce's ghost actually got tired of going after Artie Lang and just saw he was like, that guy. Fuck him. We're going after that guy. Him. That's our new target right there.
Oh my god, that would be something. Oh my god.
They tried with Artie. They're like, nah, we can't do it. So fuck it. Drop the album off the shelf. We're going after that guy.
Yeah.
Ah, man, congrats. That now with this chip. Because I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
You've never seen one of the chips?
I've only seen the pictures.
I keep it in my wallet. So
it's not that I'm not surrounded by alcoholics. It's just that
this is it. This is what it looks like. It's got the Serenity Prayer on it.
I thought this would be metal.
I thought it would be too, but you know something? They give so many out. I don't think they can make them metal. Especially because they have 1 day chips.
Oh, it's right underneath you.
Oh, it is?
Yep. I dropped it. I'm such an asshole.
Oh, it's all good. It's not like it's gold or...
Well...
You know.
You know what?
Oh, God, it's got a scratch on it.
Oh, I'm going to lead you to drink over here. I'm sorry.
But you know what's funny? It's like they say the Serenity Prayer every time they're in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how the fuck am I going to memorize this Serenity Prayer?
And
the fact that they put it on the back of the coin is like, okay.
Makes it easy. Makes
it a little easier.
Question, though. Is it just for alcohol that you're going or for everything?
You know what? It was just for alcohol at first, but I think the way the group therapy works, it makes you want to quit everything. You know,
as I'm smoking in front of you.
other than coffee. Yeah, but that's my like. I've as someone who does these podcasts, it's always I can't like go back on the. I've drank with comedians on this podcast.
Yeah.
I've smoked with comedians on this podcast. I don't want to be like the guy that's like, I'm no choir boy. You know what I mean?
Now we're gonna pray on this podcast. So bust out your rosary and kneel with me.
Yeah, I don't want the show to take a new fucking direction.
Get the couch cushions because this floor is rough on your knees.
Other than the fact though that Mark Maron's podcast does kind of inspire me to stay sober because that guy's been sober for like 21 years.
You know what? And how old are you now, man?
I'm 29.
Okay, so you've had a good time, you know.
I've had a good decade of getting fucked up and doing it that way.
And that's
I could try it another way now.
But that's your fun decade, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You not to say you blew your load. Like, you had a great fucking 20s. You know what I mean? If you're saying at 30, basically, like, yeah, I gotta fucking hit the brakes. That's good. I want to know these kids that are like 17, 18, 19 are like, oh, I gotta go to, like, Alcoholics Anonymous. I gotta go to these classes and this and that. Like, whoa. Like, how hard are you fucking going? Like, good that you want to get help, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I'm 36. I don't want to party with you guys.
But you know, it's weird. It's like, it's not... It wasn't rock bottom that made me want to go.
It was Lenny Bruce.
It was just wanting to go that made me want to go.
That's even
You know what I mean?
Because some people can't fucking go until they fucking smash into the bottom. You're like, you know what?
But here's the thing: I've hit rock bottom a few times, and it only made me want to drink more. So I don't know what the fucking thing about hitting rock bottom.
You hit it and the ground cracked, and you're like, oh wait, there's more. All right. Let's see what else you got, you bitch. You know?
Well, it's like you hit rock bottom, and you look around, and you're like, everybody's drinking down here.
Guess I'll stay. You know? Yeah. No, I get it.
Hey, Artie, your nose is bleeding.
He's like wiping his cheek.
Oh my God! Who were your heroes growing up?
Well, in what regard?
Like for comedy, I mean.
Well, I figured that's what you meant. I was just making sure you didn't like mean astronauts because I really only know like two. Growing up, it'd be like people that I saw in movies. You know?
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch a lot of stand-up growing up. I heard it from my dad. And I watched it like here and there on TV, but I really watched more stand-up comics in movies, like Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Was fantastic to me. Like when I saw Coming to America the first time.
Okay, yeah.
When I saw Golden Child for the first time.
I don't think I've ever seen Golden Child.
It's not a good movie. But it's got some fucking lines in it that are so fucking good.
Yeah.
That to this day, like it's as a movie, it sucks. It's terrible. But there's certain lines that are just so good. It's basically Eddie Murphy being like super marketable and like, do this movie. He's like, yeah, okay, throw money at me. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Like Beverly Hills Cop, and I'll even say 2, 3 can go fuck itself. But like, like him, Carlin. Yeah, I knew of him, but I wasn't. I grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? I listened.
I got the Carlin album on that side now.
Okay, yeah, there he is. But like I also didn't get into comedy like stand up portion of it until like I got just out of high school.
Right.
Like where I actually started paying attention to stand up because I played so many sports and I just hung out with friends all the time. It was just snapping at one another and like ragging on each other. It was like our comedy was influenced by each other. You know what I mean? And my like Martin Lawrence. Run Tell That was fucking phenomenal. Chappelle's Killing Him Softly was fucking ridiculous. Like just those stand-ups were like so ridiculous to me when I was coming up and when I watched them and I was like
you enjoyed the Chappelle show obviously too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Immensely. And when it went away, it went away. Like people were like heartbroken over it for I think the wrong reasons, like greedy reasons, like, oh, it was so funny, I want to watch it. Like, I wanted to watch it just from a comedy standpoint because it was so, like, him and Neil Brennan were just fucking murdering it.
Right.
Week in, week out. And I was like, wow. Like, everyone goes, oh, what's your favorite skit, this and that. And it's like, there's so many to choose from. I can't, but I think my favorite one was, like, thought-provoking and hilarious at the same time, which is, like, the funniest, like, that's Chappelle comedy right there. And that's, like, like Clayton Bigsby, the fucking blind racist.
And that was the first sketch, too.
Yeah, and like that one right off the bat to come out swinging, like, holy shit. Like, wow. And people forget, like, I mean, they don't forget it, but, like, there's overshadowed by so many maybe funnier things, but that to me was the funniest thing he's ever done.
Right.
So, I mean, as far as I just love comedy, period.
Isn't it strange though how it's like the show broke? It was like groundbreaking with the racial humor, but at the end of the day, it's kind of was what made the show fall off, or
Right.
It's what made him take a step back from the show and go, you know what? Maybe people are laughing at this for the wrong reasons.
Right, and that's exactly like kind of like that's where the greedy part comes in, and that's where the racial part comes in, where like people are just wanting more and more content because it's hilarious, not thinking why it's hilarious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that sketch where it's black and white, and it's the white family that's called the N-words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end he goes, or not at the end, but like in the middle of the sketch, he's like, "Ooh, this racism's killing me," and I'm just like, that's like not funny, but that's funny because no one's picking up on that. Everyone's just kind of like putting a blind eye to that. But I pick up on it. I'm like, yo, that one.
But the skit was, I thought that one was honestly really funny.
It was fucking great.
You know what that reminds me of? Rex Cezar, who's also going to be on this.
I've never seen
show.
him. He's like a newer guy, right?
Yeah. Does it bother you that there's a guy on the scene now who's also a fat white guy with the name Cezar?
I mean, are we gonna have to fight each other to death with breadsticks? Like, I don't know. Like,
His name's not even. This is just his stage name.
Oh, he picked that name.
He picked the name Rex Cezar.
God damn it! That's like I'm stuck. Like, this is my real name, man. You could have picked anything, and you picked that shithole. Oh man, that's on you.
He's
man.
a real goomba though.
Yeah,
too. All we talk about is talking Sopranos.
He just points at everything with his pinky. If he's not on stage, just pointing at everybody with his pinky when he's like delivering a punchline. He's not a real goomba. No, I saw that Rex Cezar. I've never seen him because I've been kind of laying low, just writing and fucking COVID quarantine bullshit. Last show was legit.
I mean, you're doing adult big boy shit now. You got your house now, so
yeah, and work comes first until this takes off or until I get writing for good. You know what I mean? And not to say I'm not writing.
We can't all live in little comedy hovels like I do.
But I did. But I did. You know what I mean? Like I mean, and then it came to the point where I was like, I wasn't making as much money, and I had another. If it was me by myself, fuck it, I'll live in a shoebox. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
totally.
Because I have a wife. That guy kind of have as a teammate right now. Like. Can't be letting that.
If you want to keep that wife, you really gotta step up your game.
Right, I can't let the teammate down. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta. All right, audible. Like, I gotta go out a little less, but it didn't stop me from wanting to do better and bigger things. Like, I'm happy that even though I don't go out as often, I can still make people laugh. I'm happy that like Brouhaha will call me last minute.
Right.
They trust me enough. You know what I mean? Like me and Max Dolcelli did the last show at Brouhaha before COVID.
Really?
Yeah, like because the headliner he was either in Florida or California, and he didn't feel comfortable flying in because this was like the weekend before they shut it down.
Right.
I think it was like right after St. Patrick's Day weekend, maybe, or the following one, or the one before it, whatever it was, like that area of time. And the headliner didn't want to come in because of COVID, and the feature, they were too far out with their car, so they couldn't make it. So I get a call, and Max gets a call. We get there. I mean, they're just like, can you do half hour? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, give me. You know what I mean? And Max is like, how much is he doing? He's like, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay. So I did 40. Like, just
wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, it's fun. You know what I mean? And I'm not bragging by any means. It's just I love it so much.
I don't think I've ever done 40. I'm impressed, man.
Yeah,
like, hey.
It's I mean, and it was I'm not saying it was like a standing ovation 40, but I mean it was fucking solid, for last minute bullshit that I wasn't expecting on doing because I was like house sitting. I was babysitting my niece earlier that day when I got the call, and I just sprung out because that's how much I love this shit. I mean, if I get called, I'm there, and that's why I love. I used to do Funny Bone more often. I haven't done it in a while, but whenever Fred calls me, I love it. You know what I mean? And I've done comedy. I met some of my fucking favorite comics at Funny Bone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like I bonded with some of them to the point where I still talk to them to this day. You
right.
know what I mean? And it's pretty cool. And like, you never know what that's going to lead to.
Who'd you meet there? Like, for instance.
Well, I've done it. I've done shows with Bobby Lee, Maranzio Vance, Guy Tori, who hasn't done it with Guy Tori. I think it was Marlon Wayans. No, not Marlon Wayans because he brings his own people. Can't remember now. It's so long ago. But those three for sure. A dude from St. Louis. And a guy from like Iowa, which I can't remember.
Okay.
And then like I met just other people that were there. Like when I did Brouhaha with a few people, we went to go check out Jay Okerson and stuff like that. So it's
cool.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. I love it, but like I don't know how to explain it. It's something that I saw change in Connecticut, anyways.
Right.
And I like where.
Now I'm trying to think. Where do you think we first met? Do you think it was like a Joker's Wild kind of thing,
it had to have been.
It must have been, right?
What was it? Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been on a Wednesday night.
You missed that place at all?
Yes and no.
I feel like everyone's got the same response to that damn question.
It depends on the night. You know what I mean? It really depends on the night. If you're there on a fucking fire night where like everyone's jokes are fucking hitting, new jokes, old jokes, and then like just everyone's getting along, then it was a fucking one of the best places to be. But if it's like the night that like Colin Cook and Romanoff almost fought, or me and Pat Oates almost fought, like that.
Wait a minute, Colin Cook and Romanoff almost fought?
Oh yeah, Colin Cook said some like outlandish shit about.
I don't want to be like opening up old wounds.
No, it's not going to. It's water under the bridge at this point. But Colin, like Romy's a little hot-headed about something, and Colin said something, and Romy thought he said something about his daughter.
What?
Which he didn't. He didn't. That's just what Romanoff heard.
Right.
So he like Romy is Romy, and Colin is Colin. And Romy just fucking basically
David versus Goliath.
Right. He put like the fear of God into Colin, and Colin. Most people would just keep like professing their innocence. Colin, I think, just like, okay, man, I'm sorry, I didn't say nothing, but okay, I'm sorry. Like, and he just like copped to it, like not copping to it, but like just like backing down right away. Like he wasn't gonna fight Romy, obviously. And,
yeah.
And Romy's like, or Colin, and then like kind of like cooler heads prevailed, and like 2 minutes later, not even like they're hugging it out because he's like, I'm sorry, man, I thought I heard you say this.
Yeah.
He goes, no, I would never fucking say that. And then he's like, all right, again, sorry.
Yeah, because the bartender Andy would be getting people certain people if you were
if you were down with Andy,
if you were getting drunk.
Yeah.
There were certain nights if you were starting, you weren't stopping.
That and the other night, like, and then there's nights where it just got fucking bad. Like, it got to the point where, like, I slept in the bed of my truck.
Really?
To the morning because I was that fucked up.
In that little parking lot there?
Yeah. And then, in the Comcast parking lot. At the end of the street. There was, like, one or two times where a Comcast guy was like, what are you doing? And I was like, are you homeless? I'm like, no, I am sobering up.
Yeah.
It's like Thursday morning. And you're like, what are you doing, guy? Like, it's like, I'm trying not to die, man. Can I live? Like,
I can't be crossing the Q Bridge right now.
Yeah. Like, it got, like, there was one night me and Beecher and maybe Bearcat, like, we smoked and Beecher didn't really smoke as much.
Right.
And when he got high, he got stupid high.
Right.
So he, like, laid in the backseat of his car with his feet hanging out, and I was already fucking hammered. And I smoked on top of that, and then I did the same thing. I went in my car and just like laid down in the back, like fetal position. I made a terrible mistake. Like I should. And then like Bearcat, he didn't drink like as much as me and Beecher did because Steve wasn't feeding him drinks or he just wasn't drinking. And me and Bearcat just stayed in there, still smoking like joints. He's like, or a bowl, and he's just like, You guys are bitches, man. Like I'm just trying not to die right now. I'm trying not to fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Like, because it's spinning that fast at me. But yeah, I mean, those are the days I miss at Jokers. But
I mean, we were so young and we were all getting so fucked up.
yes,
it's hard to believe, like, like I'm thankful that like none of us like died like real young in a car accident, because it's like so many of us were going down to New Haven, traveling from fucking New London or wherever the hell we were.
I was coming from I was either coming from Middletown or New Britain, because I moved in. I was kind of living between two places during that time, and that's a fucking hike.
Yeah.
I
don't think there was many people that lived close other than like the New Haven guys.
Right. Because I mean there's a few people that would come in from like Springfield.
Right.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah.
Oh man, can you imagine going there and like being 47th on the list and from Springfield? Like,
yeah.
Oh, and there's also people coming in from like New London.
Right. Yeah, I would usually drive down from, because I was working in East Hartford at the time.
So you're coming from there, and
I would come from there, and I would get out of work at 6 o'clock. I would get there around 7, and I would still usually be like 30th on the fucking list.
Yeah.
And I'd always say the same thing to Andy. Like, I'm like, do any of these guys have real fucking jobs? Like, how is there's always so many people here so early?
It's all the people that like never kept with it and just wanted to do it because work said they were the funny guy at work. You know what I mean? Like, it's those guys that like.
But honestly, a lot of the guys back then are still a lot of the guys that still do it today, though.
Oh no! I'm not talking about them. I'm talking not talking about people that got booked on shows and stuff like that. I'm talking about the people that like didn't, and like they were there and God bless them, they're there every week, but like they just didn't get that like you get a feeling about someone and you're like, this isn't your thing.
Right.
It was those type of people, and they're just like if I showed up at church and I was like, and just said I want to be a priest, like they'd be like, probably not your thing, man. Like you should probably like give it like, all right, we'll let you say a sermon or two. Thanks for coming. You know what I mean? Like that's like these open micers where like they're like, we're here to tell jokes. Like, yeah, all right, tell your jokes, get out. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to be mean about it. It's just that's why it was 47 people, and obviously they're not going to turn away anybody.
Well, yeah, there were those certain people that were like borderline homeless people coming in.
Yeah, there was that.
Would.
I mean, you don't have to say people; you can say person. You know, like, we all know what you're talking about. But yeah, he's made me laugh a few times. He's also made me fear for my life a few times. But like,
I don't even know who we're talking about.
I thought you were talking about Ben Ortiz.
Oh wait, Ben Ortiz.
No, I thought you were talking about Ben Ortiz.
I wonder if he's still around.
I
man.
heard he popped into like an open mic like last year or something like that. One of those mics that they had.
Well, I hope he's still like kicking, man. Like,
listen,
that poor guy.
I heard. I don't know. I unconfirmed by me, but I heard that he has been around. So.
Yeah.
I have no ill will towards him. He's always been.
I remember because he had this whole like it was like that rant he would get up there and do.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it would be like this rambling rant you just see a guy on a street corner doing.
Right.
And I remember Pat, I'm sitting with those roller coaster booths, and Pat Oates is standing behind me, and he goes, wouldn't it be funny? He's like, I'm not saying a big one, but if a small choir was behind him just singing while he was doing his set. Oh my god.
No, Jokers was something else, man. Like, where else can you get like some of the worst comedy and the best beats on the same street? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And Andy would always get mad if you were eating Sally's because he would want you to eat the food there at Jokers. So you'd always have to eat the Sally's pizza on the street corner.
I refuse to eat at
like
Sally's.
You're a fucking Ninja Turtle or something.
I refuse to eat at Sally's for like till that old lady died.
Really?
Yeah, because she always yelled at us for parking in her parking lot.
What, Ruthie?
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
I had a vendetta against her Because like she yelled at me for like.
It's funny how you use the word vendetta. You're gonna use the Italian word, huh?
Yeah, against her people. Yeah.
I didn't realize she passed away. God bless her soul. But
she was the one that always wore the glitter hat and the fanny pack and shooed people out of her parking lot.
Really? Her dog was named Frank Sinatra?
I don't know.
That one?
I didn't get invited to cookouts like
she was real nice to me. I gave her
I don't know if her name was Ruthie, honestly, but it was like the lady that owns Sally's, the wife or the daughter.
The daughter.
Yeah. She was very mean to me many occasions.
I gave her the roast of the Dean Martin roast of Sinatra on DVD.
Nice.
And
she probably said, "What the fuck is a DVD?"
Well, yeah. Her brother Ricky was like, "I think we only got a VHS to play." I don't know why I had to say it like. They don't really talk like that.
So, yeah. No, it's like she yelled at me so many times and she wasn't nice about it, and so. Because I parked in their parking lot after business hours.
Right.
Might I add. So, like, before you start thinking that I'm a scumbag parking there during business, it was after business hours. Because they always close at, like, 7 or 8. I would park at, like, 9, and she'd be closing up shop. Like, you can't park here. I'm like, but why? Like, tell me why I cannot park here. Because, like, there's no one going to your establishment. You own this lot.
Right.
And I'm going right there.
And you're even after the place is shut down, you're still butthurt about
you know what I mean?
About
like I'm gonna leave
about parking in Little Italy.
Like, do you think I'm going to like squat my fucking truck here forever? Like,
parking
no,
was always a bitch over there. If that little lot in Joker's was full, there was like no fucking street parking, and you'd always have to go all the way around.
So that lot was so fucking stupid small. Andrew Dice Clay's limousine got stuck in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like, the fucking limo driver had to, like, 19,000 point turn it out of there.
Dice is like, what's going on?
Because I opened for him on the Late Show on Saturday one night.
Really?
Yeah, it was, like, such a crazy
Hey, you
show.
opened for fucking Dice in
Little
Italy?
Fucking dick. He didn't fucking talk to anybody that opened for him.
Really?
Not one person. Romy hosted the entire weekend.
Really?
Didn't say a word to him.
Wow.
And then he just left every night. He just fucking left like a cocksucker and left.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing.
Right? And like I told my dad.
But also wouldn't expect anything else less.
But he didn't even say like,
Dice.
"Hey man, have a great show." He didn't like shake a hand. He didn't even take a picture. I would have loved to take a picture with Dice.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Fucking Dice. Like my dad. Oh, so remember how I said my dad would always have comics? Dice was one of his favorites.
Okay.
I told him the story about Dice. My dad's like, "Oh, fuck that guy." He immediately took him off of his fucking Mount Rushmore of comics because like my dad's like.
But the weird thing about Dice, and it's like I said this before. I was watching one of I had like this Dangerfield box set, and Dice is one of the comics on it. You watch it, and it's like he's really young on the special.
Is it before he got like all the outfit and stuff? Because he was doing it before.
No, he had the sideburns, and but it was like he was so thin back then. It was like, and everything on him was so big.
Yeah.
It looked like he was wearing a costume. So it was like, I think there should be a therapist or a psychologist, a psychologist studying Dice round the clock, and doing a character study on the guy, because he's a guy that started doing a character and then he became the character.
Yeah. My dad loved him. I didn't mind him growing up, like those fucking nursery rhyme bits and that and this. And, like, he was a pop culture icon. Like, it would have been fucking dope to meet him.
Right.
And he just fucking turned out to be a fucking not so nice person.
Well, Sam Kinison didn't like him very much, and everybody loves Sam.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, he made Jokers paint the entire, like, inside windows of the B room black. Like, black them out and, like, redo the shades. They had to, like, drop some coin to, like, refinish the room and stuff like that.
Just for him to do a show there?
Just for him to do a show there, because that was his green room.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that I didn't know that story either, man.
Yeah.
You're dropping some interesting Joker stories on me now.
And security for that show, Dom hired like street bikers, like the Gravediggers, or whatever their names, or Elm City.
Right.
What the hell were their name? I can't remember what their name. Andy.
Well, we don't have to expose anybody. I don't want no smoke.
Fair enough. So he hired DMX and the Rough Riders. No, I'm just kidding. No, just a bunch of like old biker gang white dudes that would always drink at the bar during the open mics.
Right.
He hired them for security.
And Andy's gang, the one he followed around in a van.
That fucking like those dudes were fucking like working security in the door and stuff like that, and like the back door and the front, like the audience and stuff. So it was fucking kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I remember just going outside to smoke a cigarette out at the main door, like at that corner.
Right.
And I go to smoke a cigarette, and I was kind of pissed about Dice and stuff like that, and his wife, because his wife was kind of a bitch too. I walked in there, she goes, "Yo, who's this guy? He didn't pay." I'm like, "I'm on the show. I'm opening for your husband." You're like, "Yeah, okay, go." I'm like, "Cool, thanks." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so, and so, fucking, where was I? God damn it. Oh, yeah, so I'm smoking a cigarette, and one of the security dudes is like, you know, big fucking white guy with a beard and his fucking arms exposed in his vest and shit, and like cut off flannel under that. Like, basically a Sons of Anarchy cosplay.
Yeah, right, okay.
But like real, you know what I mean? And I'm just smoking a cigarette, and he's just like, "Yo, you were very funny, man." I was like, "I appreciate that, truly." And he goes, and he just kind of like looks around like the little ledge where you could see down the driveway, and he just like tilts his head towards the fucking back room, and he goes, "Yo, fuck Dice." And I'm just like, yeah, fuck them, because like they were all getting shit on by this dude too. You know what I mean? And like, and I found out later that like he told the guy like later he told Dice, because Dice was like pissed that he had openers. He just wanted to go straight out, and he told Dice that about everyone collectively, because Dice was bitching about it like on the Saturday Late Show when I was up there. He goes, "Yo, I hate openers. I didn't want any opener. This and that. This little show just in and out, you know." And he goes, "Yeah, I'd be afraid of the future too." And he just said it like that and just like walked away. I was like, God damn, like,
wow.
Thanks for sticking up for us, because it was like me. I think Cal White maybe opened for him. I can't remember, because there was 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and we each got 1 show.
Right.
And I can't remember who else did it, but I know I did the Late Show, which was Saturday, and that shit was fucking bananas. Like, it was packed to the rafters, like fire code violations out the ass.
Man.
And I've never seen that many people in the bar of jokers. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you know something? It's I feel like if you telling this story, it's like I actually got to jokers pretty late in the game, because the most famous people I ever saw there were Lisa Lampanelli showed up at Mike one time. And then Godfrey, I saw on a weekend show.
Oh, Godfrey was great. I got to open for Kyle Grooms.
Right.
Kyle Grooms did the second show, because you know how the late shows are like notoriously bad.
Right.
Like you may have a full house.
Yeah.
You may have just you and me. You know?
Or it just might be the exact same audience as the first
or
time. I don't know what it was about Joker's Wild that would make it be like.
You guys want to stay
it was just the audience would just stay.
And so I've honestly heard them say, "Is it going to be a different show?" And I've heard like Pat Oates go, "No," like just flat out, just no. It will not be the same, or it will not be the different show.
It'll be the exact same comics doing the exact same jokes.
And they just like still think about it. They're like, "Yeah, all right, let's leave." Like, what? Like, you have to think about that. Like, peace. You know what I mean? But that place was, fucking Kyle Grooms did a show for 4 people. He did an hour and a half.
Really?
For 4 people. Like, do you remember how the stage was like that corral kind of style with the bar going all the way around? So he sat on the bar part.
I would call it the Knights of the Round Table.
Well, it was square.
Yeah. I guess it was a square. But I would call it that because it would be people literally sitting around the stage.
I would call it like a strip club stage too. You know, like one of those if you ever been. Perfect strip club stage because it's like eye level. So he sat on the bar,
right,
and put his feet on the seat beneath him, and they were at the table right across from that edge. So he was just eye to eye with 4, like a 4 top.
Right.
And it just actually was 6 or 8. That only had 4 people, so it looked even more empty than it possibly could.
Okay.
So these people were just sitting there kind of uncomfortably. I do my time. They're fun as hell. Kyle Grooms goes on, destroys 4 people for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And like Steve was bartending and Andy was doing the lights and he's in the booth. You could hear him fucking dying in the booth.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that's got to be one of those. That's one of those nights you do remember because it's like talent at its like finest. It's
right.
like,
and it was just fucking insane watching. Like he's like you stand back and you're just like envious. Like you're like, will I ever get to that level? Because Kyle Grooms is phenomenal, and a lot of people don't know who he is.
right.
And he was on fucking Chappelle Show. You know what I mean? He was in fucking like a lot of things, and he just is so fucking funny. And people like the first time I ever saw him, he opened for Charlie Murphy.
Right.
And
God bless his soul too,
God
man.
bless his
Fuck.
soul. Before I got into comedy, I said my first ever joke at one of his shows.
Really?
Yeah, at Mohegan.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing the set, and some drunk white asshole chick just gets up with a Corona trying to give it to him from the crowd.
Right.
And he goes, what? Like, because she was like probably 40 feet away because it's the fucking auditorium. It's huge. You know what I mean? And he's like, what? And she's like, and she's like, what? And and he goes, what the fuck is your problem? And there's kind of silence because everyone's like, oh no, like he's angry. I don't give a fuck. I just yell out, that bitch is drunk. And then he just like snaps his head. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. So he comes over. He's like, my man, someone over here said it. Someone over here said it. And he's just like pointing. We were like fucking sitting right at the stage.
Right.
And he's like, my man, someone over here said it. Someone over here. And everyone at my table, you think they'd be cool. They just ratted me out. They're like, this guy. They just all point to me. Like all 8 of my friends were like, that right here. It was like Dumb and Dumber when he throws the pepper. He's like, right here.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and he goes, yeah, what'd you say? And he puts the mic to my face in the fucking auditorium. And he's just like, what'd you say? Say it again. I go, that bitch is drunk. And the fucking auditorium fucking exploded in laughing. And then she got shamed out of there.
And this was before you did stand up.
Before I did stand up, and I felt that.
And you felt that infectious, like you were like, I want that feeling for the rest of my life.
I stored it, and I was just like, I still never reached that feeling. It's come close, but that feeling was something special. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it was just like the first ever. Like, I've made many people laugh before, but I've never made 1,000 more people laugh at once. And
right.
And that was kind of like Monsters Inc. when they get the scares, to get the doors open.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. I was like, woo, tingly. You know what I mean? So.
And on that note, I think we should wrap it up there because right. I feel like that was I feel like that's a good spot to end.
I had a great time, and I have plenty of other stupid shit to say. So if you'll have me on another time, I'd happily come back.
Is there another story you want to tell?
No, absolutely no. We'll save it for later. That's fine.
All right, man. Hey, Cezar. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I actually had a really great time. It's like I haven't seen you in so long. I really didn't know what to expect. But it was nice. It was nice reminiscing with you, man.
No, it was a pleasure. It's a pleasure going over stories, especially over Dr. J.
Yeah.
Our mutual Artie stories. Your maybe Proud Boy Ghostbuster pin, or sticker. It's comedy, man. It's fun.
Fucking A. Well, thank you so much for being on the 1000 Comics podcast.
Thank you for having me, my man.